Hey everybody! I'm super excited to share with you a handful of card games from 25th Century Games that are just loads of fun. I'm going to rank them in my favorites, most favorite to my least favorite, but they're all pretty favorites. Now they have some very interesting mechanics and lovely theme and wonderful graphics, so I can't wait to share the images of these games with you. Now, the very first game that I want to talk about is my third favorite. It's called Oh My Brain, and this is a game for 2 to 5 players and takes about 15 minutes to play. And it's got a lovely theme of like eating brains and kind of like, zombie campfire feels, because players are going to have cards in 2 different locations in their play area. One is going to be in their hand, and the other is going to be in their cemetery, which is a stand that you place cards into. Now, what you need to do is you want to get rid of all of your cards before the other players, and you play them out into the campfire, which is a central playing area. And of course, there are rules on how to play your cards out into the campfire, but you will also trigger a die roll at certain times, and you will roll this die and it will have some really fun, silly, lucky swip swaps or plays or maybe brain loss that you will apply to your player or to your opponents if it says so. And players have kind of like life chips, they're little brain tokens, and those are going to be the points that you earn if you can keep your brains. It is a really fun, light, silly game, and I think the artwork is pretty cool, and I love the use of pink in this game. It's a real stunning game. My next favorite card game out of 25th Century Games is Villanimo, and it is a 2 to 5 player game that really has some fascinating 2-player variants and then the 3 to 5 player regular play, which I've played both of. And I have to say that's why it kind of edges out Oh My Brain by just a little bit, even though it has a similar mechanic. Players are trying to get rid of their cards first. And when you play a card, it needs to be higher than the previous number played. And when you play multiples of the same card, you essentially make each card worth a 10 value, and then you add the lowest digit of that particular grouping. So your groups are colors or their numbers. And so if you play down 2 4s, your sum is 24 because you have 2 of the same kind of card, which is the number. Each card is worth 10 because you played more than 1, and the lowest number there is 4. 24. The next player in turn order can pass, or they can play a number higher than 24 by playing down 1 card or multiple cards that are either the same color or the same number. And it's just a really fun race of figuring out who's going to drop out. You can come back in if players don't all pass in order. And if you win, then you essentially get to start the next round of playing cards. And so it's a really interesting choice of what cards do I play now? How can I combine my colors or my numbers? And in a 2-player, the variant is really interesting because not only does the number 1 card do something, the number 2 card affects a 2-player game. It's just really fun, and oh my gosh, is the artwork, is the graphics are just beautiful, and the box itself just as stunning as the box for Oh My Brain. Very interesting, lovely presentation of these 2 card games that ask you to do very similar mechanic, which is getting rid of all of your cards before your opponents. And that means that my favorite card game that 25th Century Games is putting out right now is Gacha. Gacha is a 2 to 6 player game, and this takes about 20 minutes. So it's kind of like right there in the middle. All these card games really won't take you more than half an hour to play, and that includes learning the game and playing through all the way to the end of the game. Now, Gacha is a set collection game, and the thing that really just is the coolest thing, the thing that just makes me just so excited to play, is there's a little bit of unknown that, I don't know, is just so motivating and so fun. And what it is it's the cards. Now, when you look at the Gacha cards, they have pictures on the back, and the pictures depict 2 or 3 of the different Gachas in the game, and you're looking for a specific one because you want to turn those in once you've collected them to get these reward cards. And reward cards are how you get victory points. So you look at these cards and you see two different pictures and you're like, well, I know that on the back of that card is going to be one of the two pictured images or one of the three, but you're not sure which one. So you draw from the top of the deck hoping it's one of them, and then you get one that's pictured. But it may or may not be exactly what you want. So as you're collecting these to make sets and to turn in for rewards, there's just this really fun feature of drawing from the top of the deck, not wildly and not blindly, strategically. And it's just fun. It's a fun theme. I love the artwork. Again, the presentation here and the graphics and the themes, I think they're just absolutely nailing over at 25th Century Games. And I just say that because I'm very impressed with the quality and with the artwork. These are games that I know if I share with people, they're just going to be like, wow, this is really cute, or wow, this is really beautiful, or this is like a stunning box. Rarely do people say the box looks cool. And I think Volumino's box looks so cool. So for me, all three of these games are a hit, and I think you would really enjoy the mechanics like I do, but particularly I like the set collection in Gacha the most, and I like the race feature that's really built in because you want to earn the most victory points, but getting those reward cards by turning in your Gachas after you've drafted them, collected them, and drawn them from the decks, that's the race. That's the thing that you really need to work for and to try to kind of see what your opponents are drawing and what they might be going for as well. And it's just so easy and streamlined. Much like you do in Ticket to Ride, you either draw cards or you play cards to make a train route. Well, in Gacha, you draw 2 Gacha cards or you trade in Gacha cards to earn a reward. It's just so familiar without being so obvious, but it's just classic gateway game mechanics and choices that give players just enough, and turns are so fast that it makes the game just go by lightning speed. And it's easy to teach, it's easy to get into, and just really pretty. Plus, I love the bonus tokens. The bonus tokens are really cool and adds just a little bit of oomph to the game, a little bit of something else that just, elevates the card game by just a bit. So it's just a lovely card game that takes about 20 minutes to play, and I think it scales really well from 2 all the way to 6 players. Okay, folks, so that's it for me and Oh My Brain, Volumino, and Gacha. Thanks for staying tuned. I'll see you next time.